What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here, and we are here to talk about some major event stuff that is currently going on the Fortnite island, aka the Super Sport event codename we had talked about previously, because recently some files got decrypted, and thanks to some leakers over on Twitter such as IMPQ, it appears that we actually have our first look at what's going to be happening, and all the craziness that really just going to be affecting the island leading up to the teasers for Chapter 5 Season 3, which appears to now be following the roadmap leak even more, based on what we're going to talk about in today's YouTube video. So firstly, as of right now, at the time I'm playing this game, the first stage has actually gone live, and it appears that the first stage is going to last over multiple days, being day 1, day 2, and day 3, and during that time we're going to be seeing some slight changes over by Mount Olympus in the game. Now currently Mount Olympus is in the storm, however, if we jump up here, you can actually notice that the statue is not like it typically is. Firstly, the clouds around the statue are actually pitch black instead of their normal gray effect that they typically have. I'm going to go over here and eliminate a bot in the spot lobby real quickly here, give me one moment. And then if we kind of get a better view over here that isn't, obstructed by trees or anything, we should be able to kind of talk about this a little bit more. Please, can I get up here? I'm just going to break my way up. This works as it works, right? But you may have also noticed that on top of the actual, electrified, stormy clouds going on over here, that the actual statue itself has some electrified eyes happening with it. And that is something that is very unique, and it is very interesting to see actually take effect, because something that happened when this stage first went active, right? When the eyes started getting electricity on them or whatever else, is that these clouds went blue, right? They went blue because they're actual thunderstorm clouds, and they have thunder building up inside of them, which is why right now they're black, because even though they haven't actually striked anything, they're charging up, and the statue is also charging up as well. Who knows if the statue is trying to use the clouds for energy in order to attack certain things on the island or whatever else, but it does appear like that is going to be something that we're going to keep our eyes on, because not only is the statue, going to exist like it is right now, but later on during the whole entire event build-up, during the next few days, we're actually going to see the statue animated. And to kind of explain this animation here, I'm going to show my hands, right? What it's going to do is it's going to take the sword, for example. Do I have anything I can use as a sword? You know what? This works. Nintendo, don't sue me. But imagine this is the sword, right? And this is him holding it. He's going to take it. One day he's going to take, put one hand off of it, point the sword upwards at the sky with the tip going up, and then he's going to go ahead and go back into this animation. It might only happen one time. It might actually happen multiple times. We don't really know as of right now, but we do know the statue is going to come alive. My theory on what's going to happen when it actually puts the sword in the upwards position here is that it's going to go ahead and have all the built up electricity, the lightning and all the thunder type stuff actually strike down on the Fortnite island. Now, because of that, we have to talk about some upcoming extra leaks regarding everything we know so far, and thanks to PQ, we have a pretty decent list of things to actually keep in mind here, so that we're able to kind of theorize what would happen next after lightning would strike from a sword, right? Now, according to the information that we currently have available to us, we all know that Pandora's Box is kind of over in this area, right? Over, actually, where is Restored Rails? Yeah, it's over here. Right there, actually, is exactly where the box is, and it's kind of just sat there the whole entire season, right? It introduced us to Chapter 5 Season 2, but ever since then, it's just kind of existed there. It hasn't really done too much, and we can actually drive over it to show it to you guys, but it just kind of sits there, just kind of looking like a pretty little object in the ground, right? People are like, I wonder if they'll ever do something with this, and it didn't really seem like too much was going on here. I mean, the Titan hand over by it is just completely a rock now. It's just kind of died out or whatever else, but it appears that what's going to happen on the day after we get the whole entire sword going upwards and everything is that Pandora's Box is actually going to be struck by lightning, and that will cause it to get overloaded. When this happens, there'll be energy bursts coming out of Pandora's Box, leading up to it actually exploding. We don't know if when it explodes, it's going to be opened up permanently, we'll have another tornado in the sky or anything like that, but it is something to kind of keep in mind. The energy from it, which most likely is stored in the things like the front right there, the side little crystals and everything, is going to actually get overloaded due to lightning and explode, affecting the Fortnite island. After that, we get to stage 3, which is actually going to be a 3-parter, and it relates to this sandstorm right here if it actually decides to pop up on screen. Give me a second. Oh, actually, there it is right there, which is set to go live. Thanks again to PQ for this image right here, but it will have 3 different stages once it's live. There will be a far stage where it's far from the Fortnite island, a medium stage where it starts getting closer to the island, and then a close stage where, as you can see, kind of like right there, it's almost touching the island at the edge, right? But it's not going to ever actually affect us. If you guys remember the past when we had things such as the whole entire water storm effect or whatever for a Midas event a long time ago, back when we had Deadpool and all that type of stuff, stuff, it was something that was super unique, and even though I could see them doing something like a Sandstorm, actual storm on the island when it gets closer to time, it appears that as of right now, unless they make some last minute changes in tomorrow's downtime update, which by the way, don't expect too much content in that update, it isn't going to be an actual storm on the island. It's just going to be something we'll be able to see in the edges at the actual distance when Pandora's Box kind of releases all of this chaos into the island. Now, because of it being a Sandstorm, that also appears to re-verify the roadmap leak, which means that Chapter 5 Season 3 was said to be some vehicle Mad Max themed season, you know, with a lot of deserty things going on, derailed trains, all that type of stuff, and it appears with the more information we get in game that, yeah, that looks like it's pretty accurate, and that looks like that's what's going to actually be happening as time goes on and as we get closer to the new season. Most likely what they're going to do here, since the Sandstorm is never going to touch the island, is that they're going to play it into the cinematic. Once it gets time to the actual cinematic part, we're going to have the Sandstorm real close to the island, the servers are going to go offline for, you know, the new update and everything else, and then they're going to release the cinematic, and we're going to see what happens during that downtime period between the Sandstorm being close to the island and after it happens, you know, the new season launches, right? So I feel like they're going to do a cinematic to actually start teasing some of the other stuff and build up that storyline a little bit more, but I do want to admit, if they actually do it that way, and it is related to the whole entire new season's theme, I'm going to be insanely impressed. Not because of the fact that, you know, it's like, oh cool, more mini events on the island or whatever, but it really shows how fluid they're starting to get with seasons, right? They're not going ahead and just being like, hey guys, we know that you had this season, and now we're just going to flip the switch 180 and be like, here's a completely different season, not related to anything, and instead they're using the build up from a previous season to tease the next season, and then using that same build up to tease another season right after it, kind of having a dynamic storyline, making the island itself and the story that is this map continuing to evolve as they continue to change things, and having every single part from the past actually affect future stuff, instead of just kind of using things, having them be a one and done, and then just kind of rewriting what happened that made the map change over and over again. And that makes me kind of excited, right? But of course, as of right now, we have a lot of stuff that is still unfinished. We have a lot of stuff that they still need to do, but I do think it's really cool to see how we are getting these mini live events and stuff. Now, I also don't have the current time periods for when you should be on the game to actually see all this happen live, but if I get any of those, I will make another video, you know, updating you on all of that. But of course, I would love to hear in comments down below, what do you think about this mini event? What do you think about all of the leaks relating to it and everything else? And are you excited for the brand new season, Chapter 5 Season 3? If you are, consider subscribing to support the content I create and to stay in the news for everything Fortnite. And until next time, we'll catch you champs and champettes a little bit later. Let's just kind of take a moment here and look at those electrified eyes, right? He's kind of scary, but then again, I guess we should just never trust the statue in the Fortnite island. You guys remember back in the old days of Fortnite when we had Caddis v Doggus, you know, the mech and everything else, where the statue ended up being a giant sword, and this time statues are just coming alive. So I'm just going to assume any statue in the game except for the foundation statue is a secret plot point where it's going to come alive and just hit the gritty or something. But until next time, we'll catch you champs and champions a little later with another upload, and peace out.